everybody, and this is a video dedicated to what's her name? Girl, what's your name? Girl, what's your name? I have you somewhere. Let's see. Let's see. Kalia Thompson. This video is dedicated to you. And having said that, I would like to thank Misty for the t-shirt. I think it's Misty. Sorry, girl. I forgot to check. Thank you so much for the t-shirt that you sent me. I finally managed to collect it yesterday. And when you get a gift from someone and they've worked so hard for it, it is something to go on your knees for. So I went on my knees and I thanked you. It's a humbling experience to be getting gifts. See, I'm even blushing, I think. Thank you so much. Okay. Kalia Thompson asked me, how do you know that you are the chosen? And then I just said, look, I'm going to do a video. And then I'm going to talk about me. Something that I don't really like to do. Okay. And also teach you guys about witch doctors, I guess. Okay. And I'm also going to answer some questions. And I'm probably going to be doing some readings along the way too in this video. But I don't want it to be too long. But I'm probably going to tell you things that I did readings on and I saw. And while I'm explaining myself, right? So Kalia said, how do you know you're the chosen one? You don't know. Okay. And I'm using my own culture, the Zezuru of the Shona, of the Bantu, to talk about this, right? Others do it differently. I'm talking about how we do it, right? So you don't really know, but your parents do. You don't know, but your parents do, because you think you're normal. Really, we're not normal, right? We're crazy as hatters, okay? You think it's normal to see dead people. You think it's normal to talk to dead people. You think it's normal to see what's going to happen tomorrow and next week. You think it's normal to get dreams of such a nature. You think it's normal, right? You don't know anything, but your parents do. They do. Your relatives know. And that in itself is not a good thing, right? Because everybody covets this. Everybody covets this gift. Everybody wants to be the chosen. So you don't know. I only really knew I was special when I was 20, 21. The fact that I used to see all my exam papers in my dreams before I went to write them was nothing. Okay? The fact that people died and came to talk to me was nothing. When I was a little girl, I used to be so scared. I would run to my parents' bedroom and I would sleep with them because of Uncle so-and-so who died last week, who's sitting on my bed in my room. Or Auntie so-and-so. Or great aunt so-and-so. Do you know what I'm saying? And I would run. Then when I got older, I was too embarrassed to run to my parents for that. So I would run to my parents and I would say, I have a headache. Then my parents would have to run around looking for painkillers and stuff like that. But I just needed to get out of my goddamn room, right? So you don't know any of that at all. Like, basically, no one tells you shit. But one day, my mom brought 2 witch doctors to the house. I was maybe 21. Because in Africa, we live with our parents. The only reason you move out of your parents' home in Africa is if you're going to work somewhere else. And I was in college at the time. And yes, I've been in college for years, since I was like 18. So anyway, I was in college at the time. And I was living with my parents. And my mom brought a witch doctor, 2 witch doctors, 2 male witch doctors to the house. They came to me and they said, okay, that was after. Okay, the first time I was 12. And my mom brought 2 witch, but I still didn't know. Nobody told me shit at 12. My mom brought 2 witch doctors came to the house. They gave me an empty jar, an empty bottle. A sealed empty bottle. They opened it and they showed me and they gave it to me and they sealed it and they gave it to me and they said, go and bury it. We had a lot of land. My dad was a wealthy guy. So anyway, they said, go find some way to bury it where nobody can see it. And I ran and I buried it behind some tree, or I don't even remember. And then I buried it, and then I forgot about it. 2 weeks later, they came back to the house, and they said, "Do you remember where you put the bottle?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And they said, "Go get it." So I went and I dug it out, and the bottle was full of seawater. And I live in a landlocked country, Zimbabwe. I'm Zimbabwean, from Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is a landlocked country, so it was full of seawater and plants from the ocean, right? And I was like, "Oh, very fascinating." I was 12. Oh, very fascinating. And I took it and I gave it to them, and they had it tested at the labs, because we have schools in witch doctoring at the University of Zimbabwe and also in South African universities. And they didn't tell me anything. They told my mother. My mother got the results. Nobody told me shit. I did know of my great aunt Mukwevo, Tete Mukwevo. I knew she was the witch doctor. I come from royal blood. Okay. And in our cultural royal families, there's always a sister, a tete. Tete means my sister when it's being said by a male. And when I'm saying Tete Mukwevo, that's my grandfather's sister, Mukwevo. I come from royal blood. My ancestors and his brothers, we are all one family. I was born under that same tree, the same branch, because there were 5 brothers. They called the Nyashanu brothers, and they were all kings. And I was born under that branch. And under that branch, there's always a girl child who is a witch doctor. There are 5 Nyashanu brothers, so there are 5 of us. Right? 5 of us. So anyway, there's a girl child always born who is a witch doctor, and she lives next to the king. She can't get married. She doesn't get married. She lives next to the king, and she is the king's counselor and the king's healer, and she gets boyfriends and has babies with different guys, but she stays next to the king. So when you go to our old kingdoms and the ruins, like the Zimbabwe ruins of my country, when you go to the king's section, the section where the king lived, okay, his wives didn't live next to him because he had lots of wives, right? So they would say, "This is the king's residence, and this is Tete's residence." Tete meaning the sister's residence. That would have been my residence had white people not come and colonized us. I would have been the Tete of that particular king who lived in that, the Tete's residence. I hope I've made sense. I would have been that one. So it was well known within my family that there would be a girl child who will project the ancestors, who would be given the right to sit in the court of the ancestors. There's always a girl. Even after me, there will be a girl. Because even though we're not kings anymore, our traditional stuff still continues and will continue till the tides of time. I hope this is like common knowledge to me so much, and to so many people, that it's hard for me to even say it. It's like, why am I even saying it? Okay. But anyway, in my family, therefore, it's a known fact. So I knew Tete Mukwevo was, the witch doctor. And after Tete Mukwevo, there is my Tete Retina. I'm actually going to Tete Retina's house when I go to Africa this time. There is my Tete Retina, and then for this generation there is me. And when I go, I'm actually going to help identify the one who has been chosen by the ancestors for the next generation, right? Because she's already there. She's already walking and talking and probably fantasizing about being in a relationship with Tafire Nika like I was, right? Okay, so it was a known fact that one of the granddaughters from my generation will project that they have been chosen to sit at the court of the ancestors. Was I the favorite one? No. I can tell you that. Trust and believe that. I wasn't number 1 on their list. Okay, although they knew. Okay, I am told though that there were 4 girls. We were 4, and I ended up being the one. Right? But we were 4. And I ended up being the one. How did I know? Well, I had to be told, and I was told in my 20s, but I didn't. I was told in my 20s. The second time the witch doctors came to the house, and they gave me again an empty container jar, like, you know, the jars where you pickle things, and they told me to do the same ritual again, and I did it again, and the results were the same as before when I was 12, but this time they told me my results. They came to me and told me my results, and they said, do you know that you have been chosen to sit at the courts of the ancestors, and you are a healer, and you are the priestess of fertility, and you are this, and you are that. And I was like, yeah, right. Okay, excuse me, get out of my way. That's true. I was like, yeah, excuse me, get out of my way. And I carried on with my life. I didn't embrace the calling. I carried on with my life. And I spent a lot of time blocking what I saw, what I felt. I just blocked it. And then I discovered tarot cards. Like I was saying that I read tarot cards. I discovered tarot cards. I didn't actually discover them. They were given to me by my friend who happens to be white, okay? They were given to me by her mom. Her mom was a tarot card reader. And I went to the house, and her mom said, here, have these. I have chanted on them, and I've used them for so many years. They have my magic on them. They have my ancestors on them. And I am moved to give them to you. So I said, oh, thank you. Although I didn't really want them. I was very puzzled by that shit. Okay. So I took them home, and I learned tarot because I'm actually a genius, people. I have a very high IQ. I will learn anything. Yeah, I do have a very high IQ. I will learn anything. So I went and I learned the tarot, and I started for fun, telling my friend, doing tarot for fun. So I can read tarot. Like I was saying that I sometimes look at the tarot spreads of my fellow metaphysical scientists, and I watch them battle themselves, because what's in front of them is not what they want to hear. They want to hear what they want to hear. So they ignore what's in front of them, and they deliberately misinterpret the story that's in front of them because it doesn't match with what they want to hear. It's not necessarily about them wanting to please their viewers. That's not it at all. It's about them. This is what I want to hear. I'm gonna hear it. You know? So I can read tarot like a bitch in heat. Okay? Like a bitch in heat, because I studied them. Okay? Tarot is studies. Tarot is very different from shells. Shells, your ancestors teach you, and they teach you from the inside. Tarot, you need a book. Tarot is more. And I also studied what is this? I studied the zodiac. I went to Asia. My dad sent me to Asia for my birthday when I was, I don't know, 24, 25. My dad always did amazing things for my birthday. Of course, he's my favorite parent. He passed, but he's my favorite parent. And I loved him the most. I mean, everybody knows this. I'm not saying anything that people don't know. So anyway, I went to Asia, and instead of going around doing touristy things, I actually went to a Buddhist monastery. And I learned all about zodiac signs and all that jazz. And numerology. Numerology was wasted on my ass because math and me are not friends. It was wasted on my ass. But then I discovered that a Scorpio born in Africa has completely different characteristics from a Scorpio born in America and in Europe. And I have it. Most of my friends are Scorpio because I'm Scorpio, and I have learned that from experience, from being with other Scorpios born in different parts of the world. It's very complicated, and it's very complicated to actually get the unique personality of a person. You really have to go to school for it for years and years and years and years. And there are a lot of Indians Indian metaphysical scientists who do go to school for it, and they are great. And I will always advise someone to use an Asian if you're gonna go zodiac and numerology. Go to an Asian metaphysical scientist because they are perfect. Everybody else just tries, right? So anyway, those are things you learn. These are things that don't come naturally to you because the metaphysical is not really, they put their stardust on the things, but they are not really whatever. So I was told over and over again, because they were trying to, they don't force you to go into your calling, okay? I wasn't forced by anyone to go into my calling. They don't even encourage it that much because it's like messing around, because you have to choose. Like when I'm being hailed by my own people, they say she who was chosen to be in the courts of the ancestors and who chose to do it, right? So they don't force you. They are hands off. You do what you do. But there are consequences to not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And the consequences for me were ill health. Until I got so tired of it, I said, oh, fuck it. So I called the Zimbabwe National Traditional Healers Association, and I said, you know what, I'm always coming down with something. And medicine is not helping. And I know I'm definitely not HIV because I get tested a million times a year and all that stuff. And once again, it came up. They said, you were chosen to be in the courts of the ancestors and you should be helping people. I said, fuck people. I don't want to help people. I can't even help myself. What the fuck? And then the witch doctor said to me, but you read tarot. Then I said, excuse me? Then he said, yes, I'm seeing you reading tarot. Who taught you? So I said, the book. He said, no. Tarot is just a tool. It's a tool you do not rely on. It's a tool. And any good reader does not rely on a tool because you can make your tool say anything. Actually, like I said, I've realized that he was right because, like I said, when I'm on YouTube and I'm watching some of these tarot readers, they are so determined to have their own way that they don't even listen to what the cards are saying. They interpret them the way they want to. Then they spend so much time on the actual tool. Oh, look! Four of swords! Oh my god! 4 of wands! Oh my god! Look! Oh my god! And they lose the more noise they are making. Look, this card. Oh my god, this is a priestess. This is the high priestess. The high priestess is like this and that and that. Oh my goodness, look at the high priestess means this and that. They are shutting off their intuitions. They are literally shutting off their intuitions so that they can take over and superimpose what they believe on the card instead of just going with the story. I just did a reading right now on Lauren London, and I just, I wish I could have changed that narrative. Do you know what I'm saying? We all feel like that. But anyway, he said to me, it's just a fucking tool. It's meaningless. You can remove it from... The witch doctor said you can remove it altogether and throw it away and you will still be able to read people because it's just a goddamn tool. It means nothing. I said, he said, try it. So I did on my friends. And everything I told them has come to pass. Some took 5 years, some took 8 years to pass, but it did pass. And my friend just said to me the other day, you are the best witch doctor I've ever come across. Oh, they've never made the other one. Okay. But anyway, she said everything you told me came true. You know, and she said it keeps coming true to the point that I sometimes hate you. So anyway, when he said remove them and do it without, and I removed tarot cards and I did it without, that was the result. Then now I said, okay, so how do I get rid of these little I would get a cold, people, and I would be in bed because I have a cold. How do I get rid of it? And he said, embrace your power. Stand in your power. Don't stand outside it. Stand in it. So how do you stand in your power? You embrace your culture. And you embrace your cultural religion 100%. You no longer say, Hail Mary, full of grace, because I went to a girls' Catholic school. You know, for my first 3 years of education. So no matter what, I'm not a Catholic, I'm a Methodist, but no matter what, I always ended up doing the cross, right? Because as a child, I went to an all-girls Catholic school. So he said embrace it 100%. Okay, I did. It was a slow and painful thing, and I got a lot of help, and I'm still getting help. It was a slow pain, and I got a lot of help from the Witchdoctors Associations of South Africa and of Zimbabwe, and they are still with me. They're still walking this journey with me. And then they said, well, you got to improve. You're very good at what you do, but you got to do better. How the fuck are you going to do it? I said, oh, I do my friends. And they said, no, you got to do strangers too. So I started doing celebrities. It was to improve my psychic ability. I started doing celebrities, but I was doing them for my friends. I would like give a Trey Songz reading to my friend. And then my friend would call me and say, oh my God, it really happened. Oh, Jesus Christ, it really happened. And like the other day, 2 days ago, she called me about Tasha K. She said, you said people are going to start suing Tasha K. And oh my God, Perez Hilton is threatening to sue. And I'm not interested in that, but that's what they were doing. What she did yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday? I don't know. But that's what they were doing. They were coming back to me and saying, oh my God, you said Cardi, this would happen to Cardi, and it has happened. So now I felt like they were boring me. They were boring me with feedback. So then I was like, so now what do I do? And then my ancestors said, you have a YouTube account. Now I could hear my ancestors more clearly because I was doing the rituals to make them more clear to me. And after this, I will show you how restrictive my life is. I was doing more rituals to make them all clear to me. So now they said to me, you've got a YouTube account that you don't use. Download videos. I said, oh, I don't want the world to know. I don't want the Westerners to know. Westerners are so rude. This is me. Westerners are so rude. At least with my own people, all 310 million of them, I get respect. They don't insult me. Westerners will say she's lying. She's making it up. She read it in the blogs. She's not even, she's acting, because they don't have that cultural knowledge. That's what I say to my ancestors exactly. They don't have the cultural knowledge. They don't know what we can do and how we can do it, right? They just know their way, and they are so rude and so nasty, and I just don't want that. And they said, okay, do 50. If you do 50 videos, we'll give you candy. They said, do as many as you can. 50. You get to 50, you are done. You don't ever have to do it again. Because, like you say, these people have no respect for culture. They are rude. They are this, they are that. Just do 50. So I said 50. So I can do 5 a day. And they said, yes, just do 5 a day. Put it on YouTube. So I did. Guys, I was uploading 5 videos, 3, 4, a day. And I was thinking in my head, because at the time, I only had 200 subscribers, and they were all for my sci-fi work, right? So at the time, I was like, and this was even a channel I didn't create myself. It was created by my British publishers. So at the time, it had like 236 or 136 subscribers. So I said, oh yeah, I'll probably get to around 200 subscribers. I'm good. It was like coming out of the closet. It was like being outed, and I didn't want to be outed, right? So I was working hard. I was video after video after video after video, because I needed to get to 50. If I get to 50, I get my candy. I move on with my life. I'm still doing it. Oh my gosh. I used to read people here in Hamilton, but I used to choose. They would ask me, can you give me a reading? Then I would think, okay, do I really want to give this person a reading or whatever, right? And I didn't really think anyone from a different culture from mine would come to me, right? And so, okay, so first, these are the shockers I got from YouTube. Yes, they are the rude, just as I expected, okay? They are the rude. They are the cultureless. Yes. That's why they are rude, right? But 99% of the people are just amazing, and you just make me so happy, and I laugh, and I'm happy to share my culture, and I'm happy to tell everyone everything, because you just make me so happy. And while I was doing it and talking to you and interacting with you, I became more comfortable in my own skin. I began to see the reason why I'm here. I began to understand that dream of mine of wanting to be an ambassador and bringing the people home or whatever, this is it right here. And then I remember my friend saying to me, you're going to have this profession where you're going to be writing and talking. And I said, talking about what? And she said, just talking. And I realized this is what she meant. She saw it as talking, but this is what she meant. This is where I'm meant to be. Sometimes I doubt that. There is another beautiful female witch doctor on YouTube, people. She's from South Africa. She's Xhosa. She's Xhosa, and she's from South Africa. And she actually has a radio program in South Africa. She's big. She's in her 20s, mid-20s. So she's like 20 years younger than me. She's in her mid-20s, and she is on this YouTube channel. She has lots of subscribers. But she does everything in Xhosa. I was actually gonna put her down, refer her. Then I was told by my ancestors, no, you can't cross the divide. That's one thing. Witch doctors are not really allowed to do that. We have restrictions, So I can actually tell you, go and watch Kichi, right? Kichi Tarot, but I can't do it with another witch doctor. It's not allowed. Her ancestors would be offended, and if she were to do it with me, my ancestors would be offended. I know there are lots of rules and regulations that we live under that govern us, the way we live. I will get to that, hopefully. But anyway, she was yelling at her. She does everything in Xhosa, and all the comments are in Xhosa, and it's a good thing I can understand it some. Not all the way, but I can understand some. So anyway, sometimes she will say something in English, or sometimes she will do one or two in English. So she was yelling at her subscribers. It was powerful. I was moved. Even I was scared of her, right? She was holding her spear like this, her ancestor's spear like this. And she was doing the thou shalt not and the thou shalt. And she had the face, and her ancestors were standing behind her like this. And she was saying, you don't get to tell me not to speak in English. Who the fuck are you to tell me not to speak in English? If I choose to do it, I choose to do it. You don't get to comment on my nail manicures. Okay, my manicures are my manicures. But she was still giving a reason why her manicures were the way they are. Because like I told you, they are very serious about our nails. Anyway, my manicures are my manicures, and when I'm on a date, do not come and disturb me, even if it's to tell me that you respect and love me, have some respect. It was going on and on and on and on and on. And then she said, you are all pigs in the mud, and I am not going to go in the mud with you all because I have a lot to lose. You have nothing to lose, but I have a lot to lose. I was chosen by my ancestors out of thousands of their progeny. I was chosen to be in their court, right? I have so much to lose, so I'm not gonna be in the mud with your asses. And I was like, I gotta copy that part about not being in the mud. And yes, you're right, sister girl. We were chosen. We were chosen out of thousands of progeny. We are indeed the chosen. I felt very powerful. And then I said, oh my God, maybe I should do that too. And then I said, oh, and then I looked at my ancestors. I said, no, that ain't gonna fly. Not with my ancestors. They don't stand behind me like this. No. One female ancestor has her leg on the table going, they're going to take a chunk, which means let me laugh my heart out. Okay. And one ancestor is going, la-dee-da. You're my brown-eyed girl. You know what I'm saying? And one ancestor is thinking, that chick is gorgeous. And I'm having to say, come back, let's regroup. I'm literally having to ask them to regroup. Like, let's regroup, let's pay attention here. like my female ancestors were very flattered by us. Nipsey to you guys, they were very flattered by us. Ooh, they were beside themselves. They're like, ooh, Lord, have mercy. They are not going to be standing. But then I also realized it was also like a class thing. Like, my ancestors are all royalty. They are all royalty. So royal people tend to have some issues, they were spoiled. They never really suffered. So they tend to be like, oh, look at this artwork. This artwork is fantastic. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas she probably came from warriors my ancestors, the males are warriors, but they were probably in the brigade. Do you know, her ancestors were probably in the brigade. They were the soldiers. Whereas my ancestors were giving orders for some people to go and die. They were the soldiers. So of course they are more regimented. They are more, whereas they're like, ooh, ha ha. No, it wouldn't fly. But anyway, I envied her because she was talking to her own people. And their comments were so respectful. I cried. They were all asking for her forgiveness. To the chosen one, we are so sorry. We love you. And I envied her. And I said, oh, why can't I just have the Bantus, the Shaunas? But you know what? That was just for 30 seconds. Okay. I said, no, I suit me and mine. My viewers, the people I have, that's where I was born to be. That is exactly, I am born to be right here with you all. Okay, this is where we are born to be. I mean, what would I do without you guys? And your comments. Your comments, they make me crazy. They make me happy. They make me think. They make me do better. You're always pushing me to do better. And my strength, I didn't learn it from Africa. I learned it from African American women. Okay, African American women gave me strength because, when I left my son's father, I became a single mother. And in my culture, that's a no-no. And I thought I was going to die. And my family really wanted to make me feel like I was dead for doing such a stupid move. That was a stupid move. You should have tried harder to keep your situation intact. You should have tried harder. You were a dumbass fool. You know what I'm saying? And it was these old African-American women, because my son's father was African-American. He passed. So it was these old African-American women who came to visit me, who gave me lectures every day, who gave me strength, who said, okay, now you got to get up, now you got to work for yourself, now you got to, do you know what I'm saying? So who I am, I was this African girl, but it took a whole bunch of wise African American women to teach me how to be who I am today, how to give me the strength to stand on my own 2 feet, how to not be ashamed about being poor, because, you know, my family is wealthy, but I'm very, very poor, and they all blame it on the fact that, you know, me and my son's father, it didn't work. But you know what? I'm still paying my own goddamn bills myself. I'm not begging them for shit. But I got that pride. I got the black pride from African American women. So African American women are my favorite people. So yes, I watched her show and I said to myself, 30 seconds, I said, okay, I really envy her. But then I said, okay, no, I'm going back to being mine. So anyway, I lost the train of thought, so I hope people like to hear me talk. The point is, it was the circumstances of my life that made me embrace who I am and what I was born to do. Okay? How do you know, therefore, if you are in this part of the world that you are chosen? Okay. If you were me, you would start some kind of ancestral worship. Because, yes, I have seen some metaphysical scientists who say, Angel Gabriel, Angel Michael said this to me. Yeah, he said the same thing to all of us. That's Christianity, okay? Christianity, if Angel Gabriel is saying shit to you, he's also saying it to me. So how come you know what I don't know? Because, hey, Angel Gabriel has got that big thing that he puts, that herald. It's called the herald, right? Do people read their Bible? It's called the herald. Angel Gabriel has got that herald, and that herald, when he gives a message, he's not giving a message to one fucking person. He's giving a message to everybody. Okay? So he's heralding, okay, and we're all hearing it. So if I didn't hear it, bitch, how did you hear it? To tell me how you heard it. It's not Angel Gabriel, honey. It's your ancestors, because your ancestors are just for you. Angel Michael. Yeah, it's not Angel Michael, sweet thing. It's your ancestors, and your ancestors are just for you. If white Africans understand that and know that and are witch doctors, I'm sure with time and maturity you will all understand that, and you will all know that, because Christianity doesn't work like that. Christianity is the Christian whatever is completely different. If Angel Gabriel is going to be talking to your ass, Angel Gabriel is going to be talking to everybody. But your ancestors, they talk to you. And your angel, your personal angel, doesn't talk to you. Yes, I have seen my angel and I've seen your angel. Every time I call a soul, because God protects their soul, every soul with an angel. God protects every soul with an angel. As I do your readings in my plates, okay? As I do your readings in my plates, your angel is standing outside the plate, making sure I ain't up to any shenanigans, right? So angels do not talk. Angels protect the soul. They don't protect the flesh. That's why people get murdered. Okay? It doesn't mean that the person who was murdered didn't have an angel. They had an angel, their soul. The angel was protecting the soul, not the body. Okay, Malaya had a soul, and she had an angel, and she was protected by the angel. But God expects human beings to protect each other's bodies, right? She had an angel. Okay, just saying. Anyway, the thing is, though, I find it very fascinating, but we all interpret the metaphysical the way we can deal. That's another thing. You interpret it the way you can deal, because some of these things you can't deal. Some of these things are really tough. You can't deal. So how would you know if you were... Well, you could wait for me to open a witch doctor school. But that's a joke. But how would you know if you were in the Western world? How would you know if you were the chosen? I would say you test yourself. I would say you get more spiritual. I would say you choose a spirituality and then you follow it and you dedicate yourself to it to the end. You don't bounce from one spirituality to the next to the next. I am Bantu. My spirituality is Bantu. My religion is Bantu. Okay, it's not voodoo. It's not Christianity. It's Bantu. In Bantu spirituality, that's where I get everything I need, right? So I can read about all the others. I don't do zodiac signs. I don't do numerology. I don't do any of that because that's messing with my spirituality and how I get my messages and my gifts and everything else. So I suggest everybody picks one and everybody dedicates themselves to that instead of spreading yourself thin. Then I suggest, like I say, because I really believe a lot of you who come to my channel, you are intuitive. I see it all the time in you. I suggest, like I always say in my readings, let's read together. I suggest that after you watch me, you take out your tarot cards, you take out whatever tools you have. But most importantly, don't even take out those tools. Do what the witch doctor taught me to do. Without the tools, predict. So why shells? Okay, so I realized that tarot cards, the more empowered I became in my spirituality and the more I could see, the more I was giving people readings without tarot, the more I realized that tarot was actually limiting me, that tarot isn't actually that accurate for me. I'm not saying it isn't for the other practitioners. For me, I was beginning to find it not that accurate. I was giving readings better without the cards than with the cards, right? So then I needed a tool that worked for me, that enhanced what I see and not take away, right? I needed an enhancer. I needed something I needed the story to be more clear. And tarot was actually killing my clarity. I was clearer when I was just talking, but I needed something else to make me not only clear but right, and I just needed more. Then I was told by my ancestors, like everybody else who is a witch doctor, use Hakata. These are Hakata. And every witch doctor uses Hakata. So they said use Hakata. So I said, oh my God, I'm in the West. Where the hell am I going to get the real Hakata? And they said, shells will work. Of any color, your choice. So I went and I bought shells, and then they made me put the shells through a 7-day ritual. So I was waking up at 3 a.m. every day, doing the ritual, going to bed, doing the ritual, going to bed, doing the ritual, going to bed. And then I started using them, and suddenly the story flowed, the energy flowed, the veil, what it was telling me was coming out so good, and it was shocking the fuck out of me. I am usually shocked by my readings. 99% of the time I am shocked by what comes out. And suddenly this idea of imposing what I want died. So these are Hakata, and every witch doctor has them, and they are ritualized by the ancestors, your own particular ancestors. So how did I learn them? They literally taught me. That's why I said with these other tools, you learn from the outside. With Hakata, you learn from the inside. They teach you. Sometimes they move your hand automatically. You guys have no idea. I wish cameras could be powerful enough to pick up the things that happen on my board. These things shake and move by themselves. And all I do with my eyes is go boom. Okay. And boom. Especially when I'm doing a seance. When I'm doing a seance, it is so eerie and creepy because they are just active on this board. And I'm just like, wow. Okay. And they teach you, and it takes a long time. They teach you. People think that you're reading the shell. No, shells are open, right? I'm reading the air that's in the shell, because there is one element that is in the metaphysical that can move from the physical to the metaphysical and back. It's air. One element, air. So I'm reading the air that they have sent to me in these shells. It's the air. I'm literally reading air. And they taught me. And my stories became great. They became fantastic. They really began to flow. And I was really happy. And I'm still really happy about that. And I hope to master it even more. I have lots of weaknesses. And I hope to master it. And I say you never stop learning until the day you die. So I don't think I mentioned how I was chosen. I don't know. I hope this was helpful, right? Because there are certain issues that make it a little difficult for those in the West to do what I do. Okay, I'm a very honest person, and I'm gonna try even here. And I'm moving about like this because, remember I told you my ancestors, one of them will put a leg over there and go ha ha ha. That's why I'm always in motion. When I'm not doing these things, they are not moving that much. But anyway, okay. There are certain things that stand in the way of Western metaphysical practitioners doing what I do. And it's the same thing that I keep saying. This part of the world teaches you to control everything about yourself, rule everything, impose on everything. And when you do the shells and when you are a witch doctor, we are taught to submit. Submit to what is. Submit. Humble yourself. Submit to what's in front of you. Submit to what is. And without that submission, you are not getting anything. And a lot of Western metaphysical scientists, they are arrogant in that they, like I said, they are ignoring the messages. They are imposing themselves on the messages, and they are not submitting. So shells would not work for them, but they work for witch doctors because we submit. Okay, we submit to what is. We get shocked out of our lives about what comes out and we say it, but submission is key. Also, being a witch doctor is really hard. I don't make my own choices and decisions about my life. That's how far the submission goes. What I'm wearing today, it was chosen for me. Okay, the time I wake up is chosen for me. The time I go to bed is chosen for me. What I watch is chosen for me. What I eat is chosen for me. Everything I do, I am micromanaged by the second. My lovers are now chosen by me because I am now an elevated witch doctor. My lovers are literally chosen for me. They say who, they say when, they say how, and why. So I can't just be attracted to a man and say, "Oh, I want you," like I could in my 30s, right? I can't. They say when, who, they vet everything that goes on in my life. Like I said, the submission is complete. When I'm going on vacation, they pick the date. The airline I'm taking, they pick it. Everything is regimented. It's a very regimented existence, and only other witch doctors understand it. Like I said, I'm not really allowed to get married. I'm allowed to have lovers. I'm allowed to have a boyfriend, but marriage at this moment is not allowed. And I'm not the only one. 90% of female witch doctors are not married because the ancestors have said so. 90% of us are single mothers because the ancestors have said so, right? But the men, they are like, They're like rock stars. Male witch doctors have got 60 women, 70 women. Seriously. They are like rock stars, and they are desired and wanted by many, and they are allowed to marry. But I think it's because when a woman marries, she submits herself to a man. Whether we like to think it or not, it happens to be factually true. Well, I wasn't supposed to get married anyway because I am the sister of a king. I mean, my brother is not the king, but the kingdom is in my family. My cousin is the king right now. But, the kingdom is in the family, and I am the sister, right? So I wasn't meant to get married anyway. We don't have kings. We have chiefs, but they are kings to us, right? And my cousin is the king. Anyway, and yeah, it's not hereditary. Like, because your father was king, you are king. That's not how it works in our culture. It comes from the same family tree, but each boy or each girl, because we had female queens too, each boy or each girl, you all have equal access to wanting to be king. So you campaign. You throw your hat in there and you campaign, and maybe the elders will pick you. That's how it works, right? So anyway, my cousin has got the chair right now, and I'm supposed to be living next to him, advising him, making sure he's safe from danger, and that sort of shit. But I'm here. He doesn't need me. The point is that I wasn't meant to get married anyway, because that's my destiny as the one who carries royal ancestors, right? But then 90% of us, it turns out that all our ancestors do not like women to submit themselves to a man, so they want you to be by yourself. They want the man to come and go. Right. So so if you were wanting that kind of happy family husband, chances are when you're a witch doctor, you're not going to get it, and you have to submit yourself to that, or you might lose your powers. Like my sister witch doctor said, I have a lot to lose, so I'm not going to do that. We are very, very, very... My manicures are picked by them. They pick the colors. I don't think you can see it. They pick the colors. They pick what I'm going to do with my nails. Everything about me is regimented according to how my ancestors want me to be. But they cannot take rudeness. I am the one who controls that part, because when I read a comment that's kind of rude, they fucking bitch, you fucking let's do a ritual on that one. Let's show them what we can really do. Let's do a ritual. And I have to say, no, we're not going to do that. Let's calm down. Let's be sarcastic. Yeah, that's me. Let's be sarcastic. Let's say something really sarcastic here. Because they get really, really angry. It's like, whoa, like a volcano, right? Like, so I kind of also like, okay, there are things that I want. Like this handbag, I really want it. I think I've worked very hard. And I can buy this handbag. It's not even that expensive. It's $99. But for me, because I'm a cheap asshole, that's a lot of money. I have to think about that. $99, that's a lot of thought, you guys. But I really want this handbag. And they said no. So I said, I really want it. No. Then there's again, they said, okay, ask us again. But this time, ask us in a ritual. Let's have dinner. So I made dinner. According to the specifications, at 3 a.m. I woke up. I asked, can I really have this bag? And they said, the next morning, no. So yeah, you are under their control, right? You are. So being a witch doctor is not easy. You're not free. You're not free. Is it bad? At this age and after everything I've been through, I feel protected and loved and safe. And so it's not bad. I welcome it. I embrace it. But had I taken my seat in the courts of the ancestors when I was younger, I might have resented it. But I did it when I was older. I don't resent it. I'm at peace with it. I'm very happy with it. I admit also that I was afraid my career would suffer. I'm a writer, and still the fear is still with me. I'm still afraid. I'm not going to lie. I'm still afraid that my writing career will suffer because of this. Because the Western world is so different from Africa and Asia. The Asians know I can do this, and I write screenplays for Asia when I'm hired to do so, and they love me for it because Asians are very spiritual. They are like Africans, they're very spiritual, and they have a very deep understanding of spirituality, and I've learned so much because Korean spirituality is not that different from Bantu spirituality. So my ancestors always send me to South Korea if they want me to learn, not like fly there, there's no money for that. Okay. I mean, I go there like once every 2 years because I'll be working on a movie or something there, but they pay for that, right? But they sent me like through the internet, like look at what the South Koreans are doing, then you can get a perspective because the Bantus and the South Koreans, our spiritualities are almost 90% the same. Like they told me, learn how to do numbers through South Koreans, that sort of thing. So I don't worry that my fledgling career in Asia as a writer will go bust. I don't worry about it. In Africa, it actually makes me more bankable. But in this part of the world where I live, people tend to look at people with second sight. People who do the things that I do as crazy, as weird, and especially when they hear what they don't want to hear, right? So people tend to say, okay, she's crazy. She can't be that great a writer. I'm not buying her work. I'm not hiring her. I'm not going to be her publisher. That sort of thing. So I'm still afraid of that. I don't want to lie. But I'm still going to continue to do it because something in me says my voice needs to be heard when it comes to the spirituality. And also my people, they've kept spirituality such a secret, and we've kept it a secret for thousands of years. And if we don't share, we don't grow. If we don't grow, we die. That's just what I see, because Africans are just not having as many kids as they used to. Right? So I don't know. But anyway, I'm here despite the fear. I also have that thing where I say be very afraid but do it anyway. This is the moment for that. I'm afraid. Always. Every day. I'm afraid of your comments. I'm afraid of being relegated to the back burner as a writer, and I live for my writing. I'm afraid of not doing it right by my people, the court of the Bantu, and the court of the Shona, and the court of the Zezuru, and the court of the Chihera, because I'm all those four, right? I'm afraid. And my fear for disappointing mine own is the strongest. Disappointing mine own, doing something that goes against our religion and our people, making them look some type of way in this public forum, no matter how small it is. That keeps me awake at night. That really keeps me awake at night. I know I gave this speech about about Africans walking in the same direction, and I said we Africans generally, we walk in the same direction. We're like wildebeests. We walk in the same direction, right? Some of us are walking on the main street, some of us are walking on the curbs, and some of us are walking on the grass, checking out the flowers. I am walking on the grass and I'm checking out the flowers, and you are all flowers. You're the flowers I'm checking out. You are the flame lilies. Flame lilies grow everywhere in my region. You are the flame lilies, and I'm standing and I'm admiring the flame lilies, and I'm standing among the flowers, and that's where I am at happiest. But I also fear bruising those flowers. When you're walking among flowers, you might bruise them. I fear bruising those flowers. Just as I fear that I might be left behind by my own people who are being led by Miss Kosa. By Miss Kosa in front. She's leading the herd, and I'm with the flowers going, oh, look at this. Oh, how gorgeous. And I'm getting lost there. So I have all these fears, but I trust. And I know that the royal house of the Zezuru, my ancestors, have got this. So I may not know shit, which I don't, but they know everything, and they've got this. They've got it. On that note, I hope I have answered some questions. I might do one on my readings a little later on, but I hope I've answered some questions, and I'm counting down the days to going. I bought my sleeping bags. I bought my artificial lights. I wish I could buy a toilet. But I am counting down the days to going home and to learning more about my craft so that I can serve you better. Thank you.